What if I told you that some of the very foods you've been told are good for you are secretly sabotaging your joints and dimming your memory? What if I told you that the innocent-looking choices on your plate are in fact the stealthy culprits behind that morning stiffness, that afternoon fatigue, and those frustrating moments when a name or a word just vanishes? This isn't about shaming or blaming. It's about empowerment. It's about peeling back the layers of marketing and misinformation to reveal a truth that could profoundly change your life, offering you a path back to vitality, clarity, and that joyful bounce in your step you thought was long gone. So, grab a warm cup of herbal tea, settle in, and let's embark on this journey together. Because by the end of this conversation, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to reclaim your health, one bite at a time. And trust me, your joints and your brain will thank you. Now, before we dive into our list of 6 surprising saboteurs, let's set the scene. Think about your grandmother's kitchen. Remember the smells, the comforting aroma of slow-cooked meals, perhaps some fresh bread, simple, wholesome ingredients. Life was different then. Our food system, our understanding of nutrition, even the very air we breathe, it's all evolved, and not always for the better. We've been lulled into a sense of security by clever advertising, by health halo marketing, where certain foods are branded as healthy, even when they're anything but for our aging bodies. My own grandmother, bless her heart, was a staunch believer in a particular breakfast cereal, the one with the cartoon mascot and the claims of being heart-healthy and fiber-rich. She'd eat it religiously every single morning. And every single morning, she'd complain about her knees. "Oh, it's just old age," she'd sigh, rubbing them ruefully. We all believed it. It was the accepted wisdom. But looking back now, with the knowledge I have, I can't help but wonder. Was it truly just old age, or was it that innocent-looking bowl of processed grains, laden with hidden sugars and inflammatory ingredients, quietly adding fuel to the fire in her joints? This isn't just theory. It's a story echoed in countless homes, in countless lives. And it's a story we're going to rewrite together. The challenge, you see, is that our bodies change as we age. What we could tolerate at 20 or even 40, our systems might struggle with at 60, 70, or beyond. Our digestive enzymes become less efficient. Our inflammatory responses can be heightened, and our delicate brain chemistry becomes more susceptible to imbalances. It's like trying to run an old beloved classic car on modern, highly refined fuel. It just wasn't designed for it, and eventually, it'll start sputtering and stalling. So let's open our eyes, sharpen our focus, and prepare to be genuinely surprised by what we uncover. Food culprit number 1, the healthy whole wheat bread that's secretly inflaming your joints and fogging your brain. All right, let's start with a big one, a real sacred cow in the world of healthy eating. For years, we've been told to ditch white bread for whole wheat. More fiber, more nutrients, it's the healthier choice. And for some, perhaps younger individuals with robust digestive systems, that might hold true. But for many seniors, whole wheat bread, particularly the highly processed varieties, can be a silent enemy. Here's the thing, modern wheat is a far cry from the wheat our grandparents consumed. It's often highly hybridized, containing higher levels of gluten, a protein that can be notoriously difficult to digest for many, especially as we age. Think of gluten like tiny, irritating shards. For a young, resilient gut, they might pass through relatively unnoticed. But for an aging gut, whose lining might be a bit more permeable, those shards can sneak into the bloodstream, triggering an immune response. And what does an immune response look like in your body? Inflammation. Imagine your joints as tiny, intricate gears. When inflammation hits, it's like throwing sand into those gears. They grind, they stick, they hurt. It's not always a dramatic, acute pain. Sometimes it's that dull ache, that persistent stiffness, that feeling of being perpetually creaky. It's the difference between a smooth, silent rotation and a hesitant, grating squeak. And the brain? That inflammation can cross the blood-brain barrier, leading to what's often called brain fog. It's like a dimmer switch being turned down on your cognitive function. You know the feeling, searching for a word, forgetting why you walked into a room, struggling to focus on a conversation. It's not always Alzheimer's or dementia. Sometimes it's just your brain reacting to a low-grade inflammatory assault. So what's the alternative? Don't despair. This isn't about deprivation. This is about smarter choices. Explore ancient grains like spelt or einkorn if you tolerate them, or better yet, opt for gluten-free alternatives like sourdough bread made with naturally fermented grains, or even better, embrace grain-free options like almond flour or coconut flour breads. Think about delicious rice cakes, corn tortillas, in moderation. Ensure they are non-GMO, or simply lean into more vegetables and proteins. It's not about removing an entire food group from your life. It's about choosing smarter, kinder versions for your aging body. Remember that feeling of discovery when you realize a small change can make a huge difference. That's what we're aiming for here. It's like discovering a secret shortcut on a long, arduous journey. Food culprit number 2, the sweet deception of low-fat yogurt, a sugary trap for your joints and brain. Low-fat yogurt. For decades, it was hailed as the ultimate health food. Weight loss, calcium for strong bones, probiotics for gut health. We were told to shun full-fat versions, to embrace the lighter, seemingly healthier alternative. But here's the often unspoken truth. When fat is removed from food, something else is usually added to make it palatable. And that something is almost always sugar. Think of it like this. Imagine baking a cake. If you remove all the butter, it's going to taste like cardboard, right? So what do you do to make it edible? You load it with sugar. The same principle applies to low-fat yogurt. Without the rich, creamy texture of fat, manufacturers pump in sugar, and not just a little. We're talking spoonfuls, often disguised as fruit purees or seemingly innocent, natural flavors. And what does excess sugar do to your body, especially as a senior? It's a colossal inflammatory agent. Sugar, in its simplest form, acts like a tiny spark, igniting a fire of inflammation throughout your body. Imagine your joints as delicate hinges that need to be well lubricated. Sugar, and the inflammation it causes, is like rusty nails being hammered into those hinges, making every bend, every stretch, every step agonizing. It contributes to advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which are literally compounds that accelerate aging within your cells, including your joint cartilage. And your brain? The brain is a hungry organ, and it thrives on stable blood sugar. When you consume a surge of sugar, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes, leading to a roller coaster ride of energy and cognitive function. Have you ever experienced that post-sugar slump where your focus dissolves and your thoughts feel sluggish? That's your brain protesting. Chronic high sugar intake is linked to impaired cognitive function and even an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. It's like constantly short-circuiting a complex electrical system. So, what's the savvy senior's choice? Full-fat, plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, or even kefir. Why full fat? Because the fat helps you feel satiated, reduces sugar cravings, and actually provides a slow, steady release of energy, keeping your blood sugar stable. And why plain? So you control the sweetness. Add fresh berries packed with antioxidants, a sprinkle of cinnamon, a handful of nuts, or a drizzle of a tiny bit of raw honey if you absolutely must have some sweetness. It's about choosing quality over marketing hype. It's about listening to your body, not the label. It's like learning that the shiny new toy isn't always the best. Sometimes the classic sturdy one is what truly lasts and serves you best. Food culprit number 3, vegetable oils, the heart-healthy oils that are actually hurting your joints and brain. This one might be a real shocker for many. For decades, we've been told to swap butter and lard for vegetable oils like soybean, corn, sunflower, and canola oil. They were marketed as heart-healthy and the smart choice for cooking. But friends, the truth about these oils is anything but healthy for our aging bodies. Here's the stark reality. These vegetable oils are highly processed, often extracted using harsh chemicals, and are incredibly high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 fatty acids aren't inherently bad. We need them in our diet. The problem arises when our omega-6 to omega-3 ratio gets drastically out of whack. Historically, our ancestors had a ratio of roughly 1:1. Today, thanks to the prevalence of these vegetable oils in nearly all processed foods and restaurant meals, that ratio can be as high as 20:1 or even 30:1 in favor of omega-6. Think of it like a delicate seesaw. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, gently calming the storm within your body. Omega-6s, in excess, are pro-inflammatory, fanning the flames. When the seesaw is heavily tipped towards omega-6, your body is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation. Imagine your joints are tiny, perfectly oiled machines. When you're constantly feeding them a diet rich in these highly inflammatory oils, it's like pouring gritty, abrasive sandpaper into the machinery. The friction increases, the wear and tear accelerate, and that smooth, effortless movement becomes stiff, painful, and labored. This chronic inflammation also breaks down collagen and cartilage, the very structures that keep your joints cushioned and flexible. And the brain? Your brain is nearly 60% fat. It needs healthy fats to function optimally. When you bombard it with inflammatory omega-6s, it's like trying to build a sophisticated computer circuit with cheap, faulty wiring. The signals get disrupted, the connections falter, and cognitive decline can accelerate. These oils are particularly vulnerable to oxidation when heated, creating harmful free radicals that damage cells throughout your body, including precious brain cells. It's like trying to operate a complex, delicate instrument in a highly corrosive environment. So, what's the wise choice? Embrace healthy fats. Think extra virgin olive oil for low-heat cooking and dressings, avocado oil, great for higher heat, coconut oil, also excellent for cooking, and butter or ghee from grass-fed cows. These fats are stable, provide essential nutrients, and support your body's natural anti-inflammatory processes. It's about choosing fats that nourish, not inflame. It's like swapping out cheap, flimsy tires for robust, durable ones that actually grip the road and give you a smooth, safe ride. This simple swap can genuinely change how your joints feel and how sharp your mind stays. Food culprit number 4. The deceptive convenience of processed breakfast cereals, a serial killer for your health. Let's talk about breakfast. For many seniors, a bowl of cereal is the go-to. It's easy, it's quick, and it's been marketed as a staple of a balanced breakfast for decades. But look beyond the colorful box and the reassuring marketing claims. What you'll often find inside is a concoction that's profoundly detrimental to your joints and your brain. Most processed breakfast cereals are a trifecta of inflammatory ingredients, refined grains, excessive sugar, and those problematic vegetable oils we just discussed. Even the whole grain varieties often contain refined grains that spike blood sugar just as effectively as their white flour counterparts. Then comes the sugar, often more sugar in a single bowl than a donut. And finally, those oils used for texture and shelf life. Imagine your body as a carefully calibrated engine. Every morning, you start it with a jolt of this processed cereal. What happens? Your blood sugar skyrockets, sending your insulin into overdrive. Then, just as quickly, it crashes. This constant roller coaster of blood sugar is incredibly stressful on your entire system. leading to chronic inflammation. For your joints, it's like repeatedly slamming on the brakes and accelerator in a rickety old car. The constant jolting and stress wear down the components faster. The inflammation triggered by this sugar and refined grain assault directly contributes to the breakdown of cartilage and increases joint pain. It's not just a fleeting ache, it's a cumulative effect, day after day, meal after meal. And your brain? Remember that brain fog we talked about? This is a prime suspect. The sugar highs and lows starve your brain of stable energy, leading to irritability, difficulty concentrating, and memory lapses. It's like trying to keep a complex computer running on an unstable power supply. The system glitches, freezes, and occasionally just shuts down. Furthermore, the additives and artificial colors often found in these cereals can have their own neurotoxic effects, further contributing to cognitive decline. So, what's the real breakfast of champions for seniors? Think protein and healthy fats, scrambled eggs with some avocado and spinach, a smoothie packed with berries, a scoop of protein powder, and some almond milk, full-fat plain yogurt with nuts and seeds, or even a small portion of leftover lean protein from dinner. These options provide sustained energy, support brain function, and actively reduce inflammation. It's about giving your body the fuel it needs to thrive, not just survive. It's like upgrading from cheap watery fuel to premium, high-octane gasoline for your precious engine. Food culprit number 5, the hidden dangers of processed meats, the salt and chemical-laden saboteurs. Let's turn our attention to something many people enjoy for quick meals or snacks: processed meats. We're talking about bacon, sausages, deli meats, hot dogs, and jerky. While they can be incredibly convenient, they come with a hefty price tag for your joints and your brain, particularly for seniors. Why? Because processed meats are typically loaded with several problematic ingredients. First, they are often very high in sodium, which can contribute to water retention and increased blood pressure, putting stress on your cardiovascular system. But beyond salt, they are packed with nitrates and nitrites, chemical preservatives used to extend shelf life and enhance color. While some naturally occurring nitrates can be found in vegetables, the ones added to processed meats can form harmful compounds called nitrosamines when heated, which are known carcinogens. Furthermore, many processed meats contain unhealthy fats, often saturated in trans fats from factory-farmed animals, and are cooked at high temperatures, leading to the formation of those AGEs we mentioned earlier, those nasty compounds that accelerate cellular aging and inflammation. Imagine your joints as well-oiled chains. When you consume processed meats, it's like applying a corrosive, gritty substance to those chains. The inflammation triggered by these chemicals and unhealthy fats breaks down the cartilage and synovial fluid, leading to stiffness, pain, and a lack of mobility. It's not just the immediate discomfort. It's the long-term wear and tear, chipping away at your joint health. It's akin to having microscopic rust forming on every link of your chain. And your brain? The high sodium can lead to fluid retention, potentially increasing intracranial pressure in some individuals. More importantly, the inflammatory burden from the unhealthy fats and chemicals in processed meats contributes to systemic inflammation, which, as we've learned, can directly impact brain health. Studies have linked high consumption of processed meats to an increased risk of cognitive decline and even certain neurodegenerative diseases. It's like introducing static into the communication lines of your brain. The signals become muddled and the clarity diminishes. So what's the healthier alternative? Opt for fresh, unprocessed lean proteins. Think grilled chicken, baked fish, especially fatty fish rich in omega-3s like salmon and mackerel, grass-fed beef in moderation, or plant-based proteins like lentils and beans. When you do choose meats, prioritize quality, organic, pasture-raised options when possible, as they often have a healthier fat profile and fewer additives. It's about choosing pure, unadulterated fuel for your body. It's like choosing a crystal clear mountain spring water over a murky, treated pond. Your body will thank you for the purity. Food culprit number 6, the sneaky sugars in healthy drinks, juice, smoothies, and sports drinks, the liquid sugar bombs. Finally, let's tackle a category that often flies under the radar because it seems so innocent. Healthy drinks. I'm talking about fruit juices, store-bought smoothies marketed as superfoods, and even some sports drinks. We're bombarded with messages that these are hydrating, vitamin-packed, and beneficial. But for seniors, they can be absolute sugar bombs, silently fueling joint pain and memory issues. Let's start with fruit juice. Many people think fruit juice equals healthy, but when you juice a fruit, you strip away virtually all the beneficial fiber. What you're left with is concentrated fruit sugar, fructose, that hits your bloodstream incredibly fast, just like a soda. One small glass of orange juice can have as much sugar as a candy bar, and without the fiber to slow absorption, it creates that massive blood sugar spike and crash. Store-bought smoothies can be even worse, often combining fruit with added sugars, sugary syrups, and sometimes even unhealthy fats. And sports drinks? Unless you're a professional athlete engaged in intense, prolonged exercise, they are just sugar water with a few electrolytes, completely unnecessary and detrimental for most seniors. Imagine your body's blood sugar regulation system as a delicate thermostat. When you pour in a liquid sugar bomb, it's like blasting the heat to maximum, then throwing open all the windows. The system goes into shock, constantly trying to compensate. This chronic dysregulation of blood sugar is a powerful driver of systemic inflammation. For your joints, this constant inflammatory assault is devastating. It accelerates the breakdown of cartilage, makes tissues less resilient, and ramps up pain. It's like constantly running your engine on an unstable, highly volatile fuel that causes internal explosions. The wear and tear are immense. The chronic high insulin levels caused by constant sugar intake can also contribute to insulin resistance, which is a major factor in inflammation and many chronic diseases. And your brain? The brain runs on a steady supply of glucose. These liquid sugar bombs create extreme fluctuations leading to energy dips, irritability, poor concentration, and frustrating memory lapses. It's like trying to navigate a complex labyrinth in a thick, unpredictable fog. Furthermore, chronic high sugar intake has been directly linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and conditions like Alzheimer's, sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes. So what's the hydrating hero for seniors? Water, pure and simple. Infuse it with slices of cucumber, lemon, lime, or a few berries for flavor. Herbal teas are fantastic. If you want a smoothie, make it at home with whole fruits, keeping the fiber, leafy greens, a protein source, and a healthy fat. It's about choosing drinks that truly hydrate and nourish, not just tantalize your taste buds with empty calories and inflammatory sugars. It's like choosing to hydrate with life-giving rain over a sugary, deceptive puddle. The road to reclaiming your vitality, a gentle nudge towards a brighter tomorrow. My dear friends, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've unmasked 6 surprising culprits that might be silently sabotaging your joint health and clouding your precious memory. From the seemingly innocent whole wheat bread to the deceptive low-fat yogurt, the ubiquitous vegetable oils, the convenient breakfast cereals, the tempting processed meats, and the sugary, healthy drinks. Each one, in its own way, can contribute to the very struggles you're experiencing. But here's the powerful, beautiful truth. Knowledge is power. And with this knowledge, you are now empowered to make different choices. This isn't about rigid diets or deprivation. It's about making informed, loving decisions for your aging body and brilliant mind. It's about moving from a place of confusion and frustration to a place of clarity and control. Think of it like tending a beloved garden. For years, you might have been inadvertently planting weeds, believing them to be beautiful flowers. Now you know the difference. You can carefully remove the weeds and nurture the vibrant, life-giving plants. You can choose to nourish your body with foods that truly support its intricate symphony, that calm inflammation, and that feed your brain the clarity it deserves. Imagine waking up one morning and those joint aches are whispers instead of shouts. Imagine remembering names, dates, and details with a newfound ease. Imagine having the energy to pursue hobbies, to connect with loved ones, to live life with joy and vitality. This isn't a fantasy. For many, it's an achievable reality by making these simple yet profound shifts in what you put on your plate. Start small. Don't feel overwhelmed. Pick just one food from this list that you consume regularly and commit to finding a healthier alternative. Maybe it's swapping your breakfast cereal for eggs and avocado, or perhaps it's replacing your daily glass of fruit juice with infused water. Every single step, no matter how small, is a step towards a healthier, happier, and more vibrant you. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. We are a community, a healthy buddy family, supporting each other in our quest for optimal well-being. So let's make a pact, right here, right now, a gentle, loving pact, to treat our bodies not as an afterthought, but as the magnificent, precious vessels they are, to nourish them with kindness, with awareness, and with delicious, life-giving foods. If this conversation resonated with you, if it sparked a flicker of hope, or if it simply made you think, please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or family member who might benefit from hearing this message. And most importantly, subscribe to the Healthy Buddy channel so you don't miss out on more empowering conversations designed to help you live your healthiest, happiest life. Because your well-being, your vitality, and your clarity, they matter more than words can say. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep shining bright.
Hold up, if you care about your health, don't skip this. Healthy Buddy's top picks are Here Clean. Trusted products that help you feel better every day. More energy, better sleep, stronger you. Check them out now, your body will thank you.